Be blessed by the divine. May the Almighty force and our Guru protect us, guide us, lead us, support us day and night at all times in all places and in all our duties. Good afternoon, my friends. Believe it or not, today's astrology prediction was bang on, and we were absolutely right. What I'm going to show you today is for information and education purposes only. I don't want you to take a trade based on our predictions, even though most of our predictions are coming true. I want you to talk to your investment advisor and then take a meaningful call. Today, I had shared in the WhatsApp group and yesterday also in the evening class that I have shared that today the market is highly favorable. Planets are very highly favorable for the market, especially because Mercury transited into a favorable nakshatra yesterday, and today Moon was becoming super highly favorable because it was opposing the Jupiter nakshatra. We have discussed that also in the class, and we have seen that the market was going to really zoom up today, and we expected a zoom up today. We expected, in fact, a possible zoom up of uh, a slightly higher number, but we of course did not know that it was going to go up by about 1.3% or so. So today, let's take a look at the horoscope. What did we say, and why did we say that? Today, you would notice that at the start of the day itself, the market was bullish because Moon was in the favorable nakshatra of Jyeshta, which is a Mercury nakshatra. Mercury itself, yesterday it was in Ketu nakshatra, not so very favorable. Today it moved into Bharani nakshatra, highly favorable. And as we have been saying, that Jupiter, whenever a planet was opposing a moon, that day the market uh, will be favorable as such. Okay. Now, here is the screen, and I hope now you can see the screen. Okay, so Jupiter was starting the day opposing Moon, and Moon was also in the favorable Jyeshtha Nakshatra owned by Mercury. Mercury itself has transited into Bharani Nakshatra, Venus Nakshatra. And if you go to our almanac, and we have mentioned that in the almanac as well, that market was going to be favorable today in the sentiment indicators. You will notice this is going to be a buy on dip day. Market was also going to be volatile, but the market was continuing to be a buy on dip after, of course, 2 p.m. We expected the market to be sluggish after 225. We expected the market to have a slightly stronger buy on dip, but overall, we were looking at a buy on dip kind of a day, and we expected a volatility. Now, why did the volatility happen? Because Moon was in Mercury Nakshatra. So this was the candle that we started. We'll start the day at around, this is a 15 minutes chart that I'm showing you. The day yesterday, Nifty closed at 24,733. It opened at 24,733, flat opening. But then the first 15 minutes candle, it fell down to 24,663. Another 15 minutes candle, it went down to 24,704 with a fairly good volume of 711K. This is futures. I'm showing you Nifty futures. I'm not showing you Nifty spot. I'm showing you Nifty futures. Okay, it's useful to look at the volume because the volumes are going to come only in futures. The spot price is not tradable. Only the futures are tradable. And then at around 9:45, 10:15 or so came a fantastic buying support. About 1.35 million buy came in, and the Nifty went up from um, about 0.66%, 163 point up. Of course, the next couple of candle later, there was a minor pullback of about 0.56%. It remained flat till about 12:30 or so, and then came the massive buying support. Look at the amount of green candle that we see here. Anything above 125,000 on a 3-minute candle is a super high support. So around 607, 750, 750,000 above will be a very good green candle. So 700 and above. Okay, 675 to be precise, right? On a 15 minutes candle. So the Nifty zoomed up by 0.16%, 0.64, 0.08, 0.29, 0.38, 0.06, and 0.06%. So finally, of course, around 2:30, there was a minor pressure to probably just to bring it down to the correct price for it to expire at a convenient number. So if you actually look at the Nifty, you will understand the options, how the options had expired today, and that will give you a better idea about why the market actually closed around the price that it closed. This was a weekly expiry day, in fact, right? So let's grab all these indicators. So there you go, right? So if you see the options indicator here, the open interest indicator here, you will see that at around this kept changing throughout the day. What started around 24,600 or so, 24,550, went all the way up to 25,116, 25,100, and closed around 25,035 today, around 25. I'm sure that the closing price is not exactly this, and you will know when you look at Google, it'll tell you a better number. So this OIFLs always gives me a wrong number when we enter, when we close. But anyway, nevertheless, you can see that there was a big green candle here. That means the call OI at 25,100 was fairly high compared to the put OI. That means the bears were sitting there and saying that thank you very much. We have raised it up to 25,100 and we have bought some more PE, and let's just make profit on the PE side. And it closed a little above 25,050, which is where the fantastic buying support was placed today in the market. So if you look at 24,700 CE, call options that if anybody had bought yesterday after we had predicted, and I have been sharing this one day prior, and it was at around, let's take a look at yesterday, at around 3:15 yesterday, the 24,700 Nifty CE was around 67 rupees 20 paisa. That was the closure. It went down to 19 rupees 25 paisa. And of course, the whole thing was highly planned and supposed to be a volatile day, supposed to be a buy on dip day, and a highly favorable day today. And the next candle at 9:45 closed at 636 rupees, practically double profit. And then came the 266% profit. It went up to 180 rupees. Imagine, can you imagine that if somebody had bought it at 20 rupees and had it seen to go to 180 rupees in just a matter of 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 9 times the profit. Now, that was not all. Again, it came down to 45 rupees, lingered around that price of 45 rupees, 43 rupees till 12:15. And then it shot up from 45 all the way to 426, another 9 times profit. We already saw here from 20 rupees, from 18 rupees, it went up to 180 rupees, 9 times the profit. Similarly, 45 rupees to all the way to 426 rupees, 432 to be precise, was the highest. Another 9 times profit happened in the options side. Whenever moon is connected to Mercury in a very strong way, you will find the volatility to a large extent. Of course, it's not a 100% correlation. Not that it always happens, but a very strong possibility of it is happening whenever moon is connecting to Mercury. So one needs to be always prepared for this. Okay, let's take a look at what's going to happen tomorrow in the stock market. Okay, so tomorrow, 16th of May 2025, Moon will begin the day in Ketu Nakshatra, a sluggish nakshatra, not one of the most fertile nakshatra, one of the most fruitful nakshatra for the Indian stock market. Moon will be in the nakshatra of Mula, Ketu. So, and we don't see Moon being opposed by Jupiter in a very strong way. It would have gone away from the 3.2 degree conjunction there. So it would have stayed far away from around 9 degree, 30 degree minutes away from where Jupiter was opposing. So everything else is pretty much the same, but something very interesting is going to happen tomorrow. Venus is going towards the course of the day tomorrow, day after tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow, Venus should shift into the, let's take a look at tomorrow. Venus should shift into today. Tomorrow, of course, going to be a sluggish day. If you look at the almanac, you will get a much better picture. Venus will be shifting into Pisces, Revati Nakshatra around 10 a.m. in the morning. Usually, Venus in Mercury will be beneficial for banking stocks. So once again, we could see a little bit more volatility in the banking sector. Anything is possible tomorrow, so I want you to trade it carefully. However, the day will begin with Moon in Ketu Nakshatra, Saturn sub in Sagittarius Mula Nakshatra. So the day is likely to be somewhat sluggish, sluggish to slightly. So that means that will the market fall tomorrow? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. Will the market really rise like how it happened today? Very small chance of it raising. Most likely it is going to be sluggish to bearish tomorrow. Okay. Not a 100% correlation. So I don't want you to take a trade based on what I'm telling you today. Okay. Right. Now let's take a look at Monday. Let's go to next week and try and see what is going to happen next week on 19th of May 2025. Moon will be in Moon's own nakshatra, which will be Shravana Nakshatra, which usually means that it is going to be a sluggish day, bearish day. However, it will be right opposite Mercury when the day starts. Sorry, Mars when the day starts. Moon will be opposed by Mars, an opposing Mars, which is basically a benefic Mars because it is in Ashlisha Nakshatra, Mercury Nakshatra, and also in Venus sub, makes it very highly beneficial for Indian market. But Moon is in Shravana Nakshatra. So that's our only concern. But chances are we could see a favorable um, event on the day. Okay, let's put it like this here. So 16th of May will be mostly sluggish, sluggish to bearish. Possibilities of a sluggish market. 19th of May is favorable. Mild concern about moon in moon's own nakshatra. Otherwise, everything else is favorably posited. Okay, let's take a look at the 2025 520 20th May 2025 when the market starts at around 9:15. Where are the planets? Planets will be, all planets will pretty much be here, but Rahu just about threatening to move into Aquarius. Kumbha Rasi, Ketu will be threatening to shift into Simha Rasi. Mercury very close to moving into Kritika Nakshatra. Not a very highly favorable nakshatra, but the day will start with Mercury in Bharani Nakshatra. Jupiter continues to be in Margashira, favorable. Sun in Kritika, not favorable. Saturn in Saturn, not favorable, and Venus in Revati Nakshatra favorable, but Moon in the most dangerous Dhanishta Nakshatra. So 20th May is going to be a watch out day. Anything is possible on that day. It could be a super bullish day, super bearish day. It could be setting you, trapping you up for failure. Anything is possible on that day. So generally, I don't like to give any prediction for the 20th of May when Moon is in Dhanishta Nakshatra. I have seen extreme ends happen when Moon in Dhanishta Nakshatra. One of the most powerful Mars Nakshatra is Dhanishta Nakshatra. So I don't want you to believe anything that anybody is saying on the day. Okay, 21st of May 2025, 9:15 a.m. when the market opens. Where will the planet be? We are still seeing Mercury in Bharani Nakshatra. Mars continues to be in Mercury Nakshatra. Ketu would have shifted into Leo Sun Nakshatra. Sun zodiac. Sun is not one of the most favorable zodiacs for the Indian stock market, and Sun Nakshatra remains the same. So, Nakshatra wise, there's absolutely no difference. And here again, Rahu will be in Jupiter Nakshatra, Purva Bhadrapada. So, I don't expect anything significantly changing here. However, Rahu will also give a little bit of favor to Saturn. So, Saturn is sitting there, and Jupiter in continues to be in Mrigashira favorable, Sun continues to be in Kritika unfavorable, Mercury favorable, Venus favorable, Rahu is becoming slightly unfavorable to the Indian market, and Ketu continues to be slightly more unfavorable than usual because of it in the Sun zodiac, Leo, Simha Rasi. Moon will be in Rahu. Once again, anything can happen on the day. So I don't want you to do any kind of trade. I would like you to just keep quiet. Maybe the market will zoom up by 1%, 2%, 3%. Or maybe the market will fall on the day. We don't have a strong correlation of what the market will do, usually favorable. Okay, so I will put it like this: 21st of day, usually favorable. But because of the transits of Rahu and Ketu, it has not happened in the Indian stock market too many times. Once in 18 and a half years, such a transit happens. So we don't have too much of correlation of what Ketu and Rahu will do. So I don't want to blindly tell you that yes, 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 everything will be okay or everything will be bad on that day. So I don't want to give you any prediction. I will just sit and watch what the market will do, but of course, this will be a good learning for all of us, and that will go into our database of information so that we can correlate and give better prediction, hopefully, next time around for our children and grandchildren, etc. But right now, we don't have a strong correlation on that. But on the 22nd of May 2025, Moon will be in Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra, favorable, but it will be conjoined with Rahu, not a good sign, not a good sign at all. And Mercury will also very close to already shifting into Kritika Nakshatra on Thursday, and everything else is the same, no change in that. So I do expect on 22nd of May, it's going to be an unfavorable day, mildly favorable, but again, it's going to be a mixed day. Moon Star Lord is favorable, everything else is reasonably the same, but Rahu conjunction with Moon can be a little dicey. Okay, we have seen market fall on the day big time. We will decide what the market is doing a couple of days or 2 days before that. Okay? Let's look at the Friday, Mumbai time. Next, when Friday morning starts, Moon in Uttarabhadrapada Nakshatra, Saturn Nakshatra, once again, not a favorable nakshatra. So 23rd of May will be unfavorable, sluggish. Okay, so I will say unpredictable, right? So here again, unpredictable. So we are seeing 4 days of unpredictability. Okay, so this is the outlook for the next week from 19th of May to 23rd of May. 19th, we expect the market to really go up, but I think that the next 4 days can be a little bit of a dicey day. Okay, I don't have a very strong correlation of this, so therefore I don't want to mislead you or want you to believe that the market will be up or down on the day. I will be very closely watching what the market is going to do on this day. But the only day that is going to be highly favorable, most likely highly favorable, will be 19th of May. Again, we don't have a 100% correlation for any prediction that we are giving. We are getting about 80 to 90% of a prediction absolutely right, which is okay, which I think is a fairly high percentage of predictive success that we are seeing here. And I don't want you to use this information as a be all and do all kind of a thing and take a trade and struggle in the process. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to combine this with your technical information, fundamental information, talk he or she, and your own analysis says. But I'm super glad that today happened to be one of those finest days for us when we had our financial astrology predictions coming true. And these are days when we start believing that, yes, indeed, we are getting our algorithm right. But there are 1 or 2 days in between where we do not get our algorithm right, and we do get, some of our predictions not coming 100% strongly in favor for us, which I think is okay. We will learn. We are improving. We have improved a lot. In fact, in the last about 5 to 6 months or so, the last batch we had the financial astrology course was sometime in December. But now you can see that we have improved significantly from then to now. Prediction rates have also gone up, and we are able to reasonably give predictions of what is going to happen over a period of 1 week. So that is fantastic. But again, next week we are going to see quite a few interesting, unpredictable combination of planets in the sky, which we don't have the past correlation. So therefore, I want you to be extremely careful about it and make sure that you protect your capital and multiply it and innovatively and creatively. All the very best to you guys. Good luck to you. Be blessed by the divine. Any questions from anyone on this? Please feel free to raise your hands or put it in the chat box. Prakash Shastri sir, when moon is conjoined with Rahu or Ketu, is the market down? No. If Ketu, market is likely to be mixed results, sluggish. Okay, but usually Rahu, the market will fall. But we have seen where the market has been highly misleading also in the past. So therefore, be very careful. Kamlesh, please unmute, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Sir, we are approaching Sun Mercury conjunction on around 30th May,
Yes, that is right.
and we are already seeing this next week to be bit sluggish, as we have already analyzed. So
Yes.
it will be wise enough to get an exit on anytime, anywhere you see good chance to exit.
So I do think that 25,000 Nifty, I'm talking only Nifty, between 25,000 and 26,000 is a good exit point in the short run.
Mhm.
Okay, so once it crosses 25,000, I think it's already crossed 25,000 today, right? It has already crossed
Yeah,
25,000, if
it
I'm not
crossed.
wrong. It has crossed 25,000. So yeah, so this is a good point to book your profits and say thank you very much. It has crossed the psychological resistance. It's a resistance of around 24,978 has been crossed with some decent volume today, but it is not too far away from 24,978. It is sitting only around 25,000 or so at this point of time. Nifty close today. Let me check in Google. It's 25,062, very close to 24,974. So I'm not sure if this is a great sign for Nifty. It has faced resistance at around 25,100 and it has fallen back to the nearly to this because of the expiry day. They did not allow it to fall too far. But yeah, so this resistance has to be crossed with excellent volume, we need to see it cross. Then only we can see it go and touch the 26,000 mark that we were expecting it to go. There are several resistance in between here. That all-time high was around 26,183. So around that price, 26,183 is a 1,000 point up that is possible. Another we're talking 4% possibility is there, but this is the range. This being 26,000 to 22,000 is the range that we are talking about. Anytime Nifty falls down to around 22,000, 21,000 is unlikely to go this year. 22, 23, possibility of it falling to that level. With especially after Mercury conjoined with Sun, it could fall down to say 23,000. 24,000 is also possible. There is a big gap up that has not been filled yet, and that needs to be filled by Nifty around 23,000. There you go. There was a big 2% gap up that happened on the 23rd of April 2025. Also was the resistance level on end of November and end of October 2024. On 12th of May 2025, we have seen a 2% gap up as well. So we have seen several gap ups that have happened on the day, and it's a very strong resistance, 22,000. Um, this is the price is 24,370, around 350 or so. And then we have seen another gap up from 22,900. So that needs to be again filled up. That certainly needs to be filled up. I hope that one of these days Nifty comes down to that level. That would be the day. That would be a lovely day for one to take a trade, because this is going to be a beautiful day to invest in Nifty. But currently, I will not go super long on Nifty as such. I will wait for Nifty to come down to my price. 23,000, 24,000, 22,000 would be the like 22,000. I'm not sure it will ever go this time, but 23,000 is a definite possibility. Okay, you can see this gap up here that happens, a massive gap up that happened from 23,000 all the way to around 23,328. So it's a 300 point gap, 400, 500 point gap. In fact, if you look at the closure of the 11th of April, it closed at 22,822. And on the 15th of April, it opened at 23,368, went to a high and closed at 23,328. Okay. So this gap up, this gap is still left. Everything else is filled up, but this gap has not yet been filled by Nifty. So it is a possibility, may not even be a possibility in the short run, but then it could potentially come down to that level and then close. But right now, it makes no sense to go long. It is looking super bullish on the daily chart. We can see that the DI positive is 36, but ADX is still 21.92. The bears are losing their grip. They have already given up. Because they are at on a daily chart, they are at 17.0364. So technically, we are seeing that the bulls are gaining super strong on the daily time frame, but we still don't see a strong trend of Nifty touching 27,000, 30,000, etc. in the short run. So I would wait. Astrologically, I will wait, and technically also it says please wait. But on the weekly chart, if you look at it, today has been a pretty good day, and we still do not see a very strong trend for Nifty. We are seeing ADX at 13.98. The bulls are super strong at 32, but the bears are indecisive at 24.90. Maybe a little strong, slowly giving up, but they are not really given up totally yet. We would like the DI negative to come below 20 and the DI positive to stay above 25 and the ADX to be 25 plus. But that's not happening here. But if you look at the uh, on the daily time frame or the weekly time frame also, if you take a look at the MA 20 to 50, you will find that today the MA 20 is at 23,373, lower than MA 50 at 24,033. So it is not showing that this is going to be a golden crossover and a bullish market yet. So yes, this is a strong resistance level that it is going to face. Might go up 3-4% because the FIIs are buying in, the bulls are returning, so might happen. But I do not know if it makes sense for us to go long on Nifty futures or Nifty Bs when it is crossed 25,000. I would urge you to think 3 times, 4 times, 10 times before going long. Yes, if it is touching this 22,000 level, which happened on 7th of April 2025, by all means consider going long. Talk to your investment advisor. I hope this is clear.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Sir, one small thing I observed,
Yeah.
I don't know if it is a pattern or what, but if you see today it was expiry, and if you are,
Uh,
there are two things: one at the money, on the money, in the money, like that, right?
yep.
So if you are out of the money range, you see
Mhm.
everything going to 0.05 paisa at the end. So
Yes.
some time back it was high and it was moving towards 0.05 everything. So if
Yes.
that is the pattern and you short that particular time, by at the last end of the moment, you get
Mhm.
some money without any brainer, like no brainer. Just you have to catch the.
I am not sure you will make money like that because you have maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes of closing time. Those are the times when the big bears and big bulls are adjusting their position to make sure the Nifty expiry the at the most painful point according to them. You have no idea because they would be putting
Yeah,
in
it
thousands
was
of
just an
crores of money.
observation. So I
Yeah, I
want
don't
to
know, sir. I will
see,
not recommend that. So, but
I
anyway,
want to
so
see
please
if
be
there is a
careful, sir.
correlation or if we can find a pattern on that. That will be like,
I do not want to do that because that is not my forte. I leave it to the technical experts in the group to do that. I leave it to you to do that. I don't want to pretend to be an expert where I am not. I will stick to my astrology lessons, astrology focus, and we are getting about 80% of our predictions correct. And I would like it to
right, right.
increase it to
But
90
that is helping a
plus.
lot. Like I am doing paper trades as of now, so
Sure.
so it's going good as of now.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Excellent, Kamlesh Ji. All the very best to you. Good luck. Be blessed by the divine. I will see you in the next class. Take care of
Thank you.
yourself, guys. Bye. Have a